We're joined back here in studio by Virginia Tech political science professor Dr. Karen Hult, spending her whole evening with us, as we always appreciate. Dr. Hult, how are we doing?
Doing fine.
All
Good
right.
place to be.
Well, we've got some results pretty early tonight.
Yes,
That's always nice.
It is indeed.
Some races called pretty quickly. So let's just start broadly. Anything that surprised you, jumped off the page when we look at our local and statewide elections?
In Virginia, not much. In Virginia, for the most part, things operated pretty much as we expected to. Now, that doesn't mean those aren't important races, but pretty much as was predicted going in.
When we look at the 5th District, incumbent John McGuire, we'll start with him as the incumbent there. But Democrats there, they want to see if his challenger, Tom Perriello, who has represented that seat before, I believe the district looked a little bit different. Now, Trump endorsement is something that was held by McGuire when he ran 2 years ago. It really seemed to carry a lot of weight, certainly in the Republican primary there, facing Bob Good. What kind of weight do you think that carried for him today, again, with right around 84% of the vote in the primary?
I think the same as it did last time. Mostly in the primary itself, those are Republicans turning out to vote. Now, what that does going into the general election is another story, because that could be a time in which, depending on where the country is, that endorsement will as much work against him as work for him.
Those 5th District races among the earliest we had called, right around 45 minutes, I think, for both the Democratic and the Republican sides being called super early for the AP. For those candidates, especially for Tom Perriello facing off against 2 challengers, to be called that early, to have those kind of decisive projected victories, what can that do for a candidate when you look ahead to the November election, looking like two candidates that have a lot of their party's respective support?
It says that they're going in with a lot of momentum, and that's a good thing. It's also the case, of course, that Perriello's name recognition was quite high, and that helped him all the way through, too.
Now, when we look, maybe scaling back out a little bit, obviously a lot of big races that are going on in Michigan, 5 primaries going on around the country today, as well as just any other general thoughts from our Virginia races. Some big ones in the 1st and 2nd, I believe. You look elsewhere around the state. Anything else, big takeaways for either party for you tonight?
No, other than it does look as though, especially in the 1st and 2nd districts, those are going to be races for the Republican incumbents to perhaps be worried about. At the same time, the 7th district, which is represented by Eugene Vindman, could be another race that could flip in the other direction. So that could be of interest too.
I want to squeeze just one more question in there for you. We talked a little bit earlier at 6 about the sort of voter fatigue of things, not only for the voters, though, for the candidates as well. We had the redistricting referendum. Candidates, especially for the congressional races, kind of waiting to see what regions exactly they were going to represent. Have these primaries. In a couple weeks, we're going to be early voting again for the general elections. Any impact that you may see that playing on November?
Well, again, the question of voter fatigue is always one in Virginia, even though the state Senate subcommittee said we're going to keep elections the way they are. But that is a continuing concern for many, at least in the state of Virginia.
Dr. Karen Hult joining us again in studio here tonight. Thank you so much for your time.